I could see all of that happening in front of my eyes. I could imagine the whole situation. This is like a movie scene, if I may say that. Brilliant. Let's get you back to the urban world, and I want to ask you about your experience of coming here. You saw so many kids, so much art, and the initiative that the Phoenix Marketcity Pune has put out. And I want, of course, to mention that this is a place where people usually come to shop and dine and have fun with their family, but they're trying to also have them have an experience of Independence Day, and to think of all that our forces are doing, of all that has happened, the Operation Sindoor and Mahadev that's happened recently. What do you think initiatives like this do for citizens at large and for our population at large?
Surely, the fact that, like I mentioned earlier, the celebrations of these important days, having now, I would say, democratized to a large extent, there is a large number of such events taking place, and the involvement of people. I mean, for a place like this, which has, like I was being told, on an average 40 to 50,000 footfalls daily, not on important days like this, but on a routine day, people from all over the country are getting together here, and all types of caste, creed, nothing, no difference between them. When we all come together, and when an organization like Phoenix Mall organizes something for people to come together and to celebrate, that oneness in our diversity does get a major fillip, and therefore it's so much more important that such types of events must proliferate in more and more places of people where they get together for other purposes. And like Prajakta brought out earlier, for a specific day and cause, coming together here is something which will motivate not just the elders but more so the children to also understand what it all means to the nation and for them as individuals. So it's a very good initiative, and I do say that this keeps growing in strength from year to year.
Ma'am, I now want to ask you something about how the world is changing. Everything from technology to societies, politics. We see a change in everything. Have you noticed or seen a change in how the military functions and how its role is changing in this changing society?
No, absolutely. The case in point and the example is Operation Sindoor. So earlier, wars were conventional wars. Wars were fought in a conventional way. Today, we have soldier, I would say, metaphorically, has weapon in one hand and technology, AI, drones in the other. So, अभी वो पहले जैसा time नहीं रहा, isn't it, sir? When conventional wars would be fought, अभी wars are more one on social media. Very honestly, even our chief had said it recently in one of the briefings that he gave, that whatever the news were going on from both the countries during the Operation Sindoor, most of the war and the war information was happening on social media. So yes, technological advancement is there in terms of weapon, in terms of the equipment, but at the same time, and I also believe this very strongly, that इतिहास कैसे बनता है, हिस्ट्री कैसे बनती है, एक नैरेटिव से. तो हमने बहुत अभी रिसेंटली भी देखा है, बहुत चीज़ें जो इंडिया में हुई है वो हमें पता नहीं थी, वो बाहर जाके दूसरे कंट्री से आने के बाद फिर हमें पता चल रहा है this was invented in our country or a part of our culture. So I think a right narrative to be set forward, to be told to the younger generation, specifically those who are in the teens and in the 20s. If right narrative is set, then tomorrow that will be history. So when we are talking about such platforms being used and calling the young minds, वो आज जो छोटे बच्चे थे, they may not know what we are doing, but it will get engraved in their head, and by the time they grow, they might, become big and tell that every Independence Day I used to go to Phoenix Mall and with a flag in my hand, and we are proud of our country. Just 2-3 lines that will be imbibed in their head, like वो seeds जल्दी sow करते हैं तो plants अच्छा आता है. So I think yes, platform is wonderful, and I think these things should be continued. And because we know technologically इतनी advance होती जा रही है, चीज़ें इतनी fast है, wars भी ऐसे ही fought होते जाएंगे, more and more equipments, like we had seen the drone strikes which were taking place from our adversaries, but the way Indian air defense had given them a strategic level pe, both Air Force and Army, the way they gave a reply to it, you could see in the videos. I mean, not a single drone had come, hardly any, zero, almost collateral damage, and the way it was, I would say, defeated has been on another level. So it was the integration of the ground forces, also the anti-aircraft guns, and our AI and the command and control center. All this was possible only because of the technology that has moved ahead. So yes, next wars are all going to be fought with this in mind. And second aspect, as I spoke about, social media. So we all should be like right information warriors and become mindful of what we are sharing, which should be in the favor of our country.
Very true. This is a message for everybody who has this little tool called social media in the palms of their hands now. And coming from you, you've seen this technology very closely. You were the first observer woman pilot in the Indian Army for the UAVs, which is a very high-tech piece of equipment. So the same question that about these two operations that happened recently, the Sindoor and Mahadev. What do you see from your experienced eyes, from having been in similar and bigger operations for so long? How do you see it? How did your experience say that, okay, is it going well? Did you like it? What are your thoughts on the whole thing?
See, before I go on to these two specific operations, what we as citizens of the country need to really realize is that just saying citizen warrior or social media warrior is not enough. Actually, we are at war with not just Pakistan but many other countries. The picture being painted, as we call it, information operations, is to mold the thinking of the entire population towards a particular aim which is detrimental to the country. So there is really a very, very real need, a desperate need for each and every citizen to be very aware of what is being fed to him, and like Prajakta very rightly brought out, being very sure of what he is sending forward. It's a very critical thing, and unless we as citizens really get down to this, our minds are getting affected by all the things that are being bombarded on us from all over. We need to be very conscious of this aspect. Sindoor, definitely, the operation that we launched was something of a lesson to the world, I would like to believe. We've had wars being fought now for 3-4 years. We definitely have picked up lessons from these wars and have the technologies that are now being fielded. In fact, in the Russia-Ukraine war, the technology upgrades are taking place practically on a daily basis. So to that extent, being able to pick up on what is likely to be the way, if we do A, how will he respond, and being prepared for that and taking it to the next level. While both of us being nuclear armed countries and his saber rattling about the nuclear capabilities, we we read through that, prepared ourselves, and remained ahead of the curve for that duration. The planning, the preparations, only after having done all that, having gone through all the options, did we really start the operation, which is what was really commendable. I mean, hats off to our military leadership, which came up with all those options, and the national leadership for having given a real free hand to our military leaders to take the action necessary without really losing or crossing any skinware crossing the international border. So we definitely did exploit technology uh, and have succeeded. I mean, one has heard a lot of planted stories about have we really won? Why did we stop? And such like things. It was a brilliant decision to stop where we did. It was, I mean, I have no doubts we won. We thrashed them, we brought them to their knees, and made them request us to stop the war. That gives us a lot of pride. While I am at it, I would like to just add just one more line that we should not rest on these laurels. We have to remain ahead of the curve. The Chinese and the Pakistanis, more so the Chinese, have learned where their equipment was defeated by our technologies, and would be thinking and working day and night. We need to also do the same. We need to remain ahead of them. Whatever they think, we need to outthink them and be ahead of them, so that next time our technologies again prove much better, much superior to whatever they have to field.
What a wonderful piece of wisdom that you just gave away. That we should take a leaf from Indian Army's and military's book and not rest on our laurels. Such a big operation. The world is praising India. Indians are very happy, but the forces have moved on. They are not thinking about that at all. They're preparing for the future wars or anything that may harm our country, and try to do that in the future. A great lesson indeed. And I'm sure there are plenty that we as civilians can learn from how our forces operate. So, what are the big ones that you think we can learn from how our soldiers and how our forces operate and function? Something that civilians can learn.
Some of the things Prajakta very rightly brought out insofar as camaraderie is concerned, on resilience, not giving up, are one of the strongest points of the military, I think, is its discipline. And whenever I speak with maybe children, I talk about discipline actually starting from very simple things in our daily life. I do ask children, when you reach home, घर पे जाते हो school से, so where do you keep your slippers? Do you throw them around? Do you throw your bag around? When you get up in the morning, do you do your bed? Do you make your bed? And the answer is revealing. It just shows that such small things actually add up to making discipline a very basic attitude in we of course get beaten into it if we don't do something as per the laid down procedures. When someone says Saudhan in some corner of the world, the reaction of every Fauji will be one. You just come to attention. So something on those lines. I mean, discipline in small things is what really will carry us through. And that is what we are taught right through our career. That that's something which must be there as a bedrock on which everything else can be built. And I would like to believe the second, equally important, after of course what Rajendra brought out about camaraderie, is that it is all service before self. That is a motto that we in our National Defence Academy are drilled with. As officers, we are again taught that it is always the nation first, next is the troops under you. Their welfare, their well-being is always above your own well-being. And the officer, we are a very lucky country that our officers are always at the most critical place, at the most difficult place, leading in front. That motivates the last man to do what he's supposed to do. I'm sure these qualities, if they also get into our public life, the country has a tremendous potential. I see no reason why, whether it's the third or the second or the first, the scale or the location of our economy is not so relevant. We will be a very happy and a very thriving country if some of these basic things that we do in the military as a second nature are come into our civil life, in our social life. I'm sure this country, our country, has way to go.
True. So true. So well said. I'm making mental notes of all these things, and I'm going to put this in my journal today and try and stick to, stay on track as much as possible. It's time. It is that during Independence Day and all days like these when, this emotion is high in everybody's mind and hearts. So it's the right time to have a conversation like this. And I want to bring out a very simple question. As people who've served in the forces, I would like to ask both of you your message to the citizens of the country. What would you like to say on this Independence Day to anyone who's watching this conversation? Let's start with you.
Okay. Other than wishing people a very happy Independence Day, 2 points might be a little critical, but I would like to use this platform because I'm sure a larger audience will see into it. I feel patriotism should be every day. Every day I should be patriotic, every day I should be loyal to my nation. As I said, we don't have to be in uniform to do it. We can do it by being good citizens. Basics have brought about discipline that we have to inculcate in our life. That also comes when we are behaving or we are moving around the society. As simple as, having cleanliness in the environment, having a little kind of respect for one another when we are on the streets. Certainly, if these things are followed, definitely I don't think we need to have some kind of sessions where we need to inculcate patriotism. We need to inculcate something in people that this is what you have to do for your nation. And you see, a nation is like a family. Every family has its ups and downs. But what's important is how we stand with each other. I think with that kind of a perspective, people should go forward. And one important thing that I would want to say here is regarding the use of a national flag. Most of the time it is not spoken about. We're very happy to hoist them, to put them as lapels or keep them in our cars. But a national flag should be treated with the highest respect. It really aches the heart because, sorry, I'm taking a little more time because it's a very sensitive issue. Because you see, when soldiers lay down their lives, they are wrapped in tricolor and they've got. So people must understand what actually tricolor means to each and every citizen of our country and also the armed forces. So please, everyone who's listening, the tricolor should be treated with the same amount of respect 365 days of the year.
Wonderful. So what would be your message to people on this Independence Day?
I invariably like to keep it rather simple because for an individual, the nation is a very big concept. It doesn't really happen in his day-to-day life. So I like to, I believe, I would say, that if every citizen does his responsibility, his job, to the best of his capabilities, in an ethical manner, he would become a true good citizen of this country. Just doing that, I think, is all the patriotism that you really require from every citizen of this country. Just do what you need to do to the best of your capabilities and in a most ethical manner. Don't give up on this at any point of time. That's the long and short of my message, if at all, to every brethren of my country.
So well said. Each one of us is a soldier of our country in our own right. You could be an artist, you could be a bank employee, you could be working in construction, whatever you do, you could serve the country in your own little way and change the nation every day. And like Major Desai said, patriotism is not for one day or an occasion. It is something that you do every day and that you live every day. So wonderful messages from both of them. With that being said, I want to say that this is an occasion. It's Independence Day, and here at Phoenix Marketcity, we put up an art exhibition that is worth seeing. It's a tribute to our forces and people who serve our country day in and day out. You must come here with your family, check it out. And I want to end this by saying thank you to both our heroes for coming here and giving us your time.
Thank you very much. And like you rightly said, I think the art that is on display is something really worth visiting. And I would like to also second what you've just said, that yes, do visit. It's a beautiful artwork that is on display, and there's so much of thought that has gone in each and every frame that has been put up. It's really worth visiting. Thank you very much to Phoenix Marketcity for having invited both of us here. Thank you.